So, okay, topic time. And here's a topic that have strong opinions on, but I'm going to get your take on it as well.
Okay.
Is golf too expensive?
Ooh. Uh,
So, I mean, we can go down. There are ways, I guess, you can minimize the expense of golf, but are you getting the real experience of golf then?
so I kind of look at it this way. Like, I mean, let's go back in our games a little bit, okay? So when we first were getting into this, we spent a lot of time at the par three
Yes.
because we felt that's where our game was at. It was affordable. It was minimal embarrassment
Yeah.
because we're learning how to play the game, right? And it was you didn't need a lot of clubs to play. So I would say, there are ways to minimize the cost of golf, but if you want to play golf the right way, I mean, you need 14 clubs. You need a driver costs like $800 brand new. A putter costs like $600
So yeah,
brand new.
but that's the thing. So, like, let's get into, like, first thing is you're going to buy a membership.
Yep. Or
Yeah.
potentially.
Potentially,
But I
right?
mean, if you're
But
not
even
buying a membership, you're paying $100 every round.
$100 around, right? Depending on the type of course you're playing. And again, the more money you pay, you would hope that the better experience you're getting, but it's not always the case,
That's right.
right? But if you're going to be a member, it's a couple of grand, 3 grand, 2 or 3 grand, you know, and so there you go. It's like you're thousands of dollars into this just to get your membership. Now, granted, you could cheap out on your clubs, you know,
But I
go
mean, if
go
you're
on.
spending $1,000 on a membership, I mean, why would you cheap out on your clubs? I mean, for something you're paying for an experience that you don't even know if you're going to enjoy yet.
Well, again, I'm gonna say that people have been in the game long enough to where they go, okay, well now I'm gonna get a membership, and now I'm gonna delve into this sport a little more.
All right, fair
I've
enough.
played 3 rounds, played 3 rounds last year, played 4 rounds the year before that. Well, now I'm gonna give this a whirl. I'll get a membership. I'll buy a bag of clubs, and if you get into it that way, well, I mean, membership's expensive. So, but it's all the amenities that comes with that. Like you can buy your cart pass, you can buy your range pass, right? And we're talking hundreds and hundreds of more dollars on top of your membership to get those type of things. And if you don't, well, I'm going to use us as an example. It's 22 bucks around to ride in a cart
For 18 holes.
for 18 holes,
Yeah.
right? It's 22 bucks.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to get balls, well, a small bucket of balls is 7 bucks. A large bucket of balls is $13, right? So if you have a membership and you want to ride in a cart and get a large bucket of balls, it's like 30 bucks every time you go.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's just the costs are.
And,
We
and,
haven't
and let's say you play 70 rounds a year.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of money.
And we haven't even talked about
21 an extra $2,100.
and we haven't even talked about the gear setup. That if you want a decent bag, or if you wanted to get fitted for clubs, when we're talking about thousands of more dollars, right? Like for somebody on the outside to say, okay, well, maybe golf is my sport and I've played it a little bit and now I want to get into it. Man, the thousands of dollars starts racking itself up.
It doesn't take long, man. Like I can tell you, I went and got fitted for clubs, and I mean, we always joke, my wife and I, like my bag's worth probably $5,000.
Yeah, right.
Like, I mean, I got a nice setup, but I
And
mean,
so
it's expensive.
that's been one of the things holding me back from actually going and getting my bag fitted. Is like, man, the cost is it's a little intimidating for me.
So here's the flip side of that. Okay, I mean, it's intimidating up front because it's a big cost. But if you're gonna play those clubs for 10 to 15 years, you're gonna play, let's say, most people that have a golf membership are gonna play like 60 to probably 80 rounds a season. I mean, you're gonna make your money back and then some on your club purchase.
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair enough.
over the years, it's a tough pill to swallow up front if you don't have the cash, right? Or like to dole out that cash early on. But I mean, that's kind of an investment that I think does pay off for itself. The amenities part, I completely agree with you. Like, I mean, it's crazy how much you like.
I get that golf courses have to make money,
Yeah, well, and that's
I
where they that's where
I
they
get
make their money, right?
right? But the
Like, how much does a range ball cost though? $13 for a large bucket is like, so let's say you sell like, I don't know, 100 of those a day. You probably sell more than that, but let's say you sell 100 of those a day. That's $1,300.
Yep. Yep.
$1,300 for 100 large buckets. And those large buckets can go anywhere from, like, I've seen people go through them in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I've seen people who take their time and do their thing, that go through them in an hour, hour and a half. And it's like, and then what do? You don't even lose them. You go fucking pick them. It's like, I mean, you buy a freaking range ball for what, like 20 cents, 15 cents, and you use them until they're basically destroyed or get hit by the
picker?
mower
Yeah.
or the picker. Like, it's crazy the ROI on those things.
Yeah. Just the ability to go play golf, like us as members, and have the ability to go play it whenever we want. And we don't get to play it whenever we want because we have to do the lottery for tee times and stuff.
Well, and I mean, that was another complaint I've heard from, like, well, not really complaint, but something I've heard from some of the members at the Hat, right? Because there's so many members.
So many members.
Like, this member that I talked to, they said you used to be able to go onto the tee sheet and just decide the day before that you wanted to play the next day, and there was room. Now, because there's so many bloody members, there's no room, and you have to go into the lottery system. And I understand because they make money off their members, and they're owned by the city, and or they're owned by their members, and blah 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 blah, whatever. But it's there's so many things that, I mean, you want to have a wedding there. It's going to cost you money, even if you're a member. It's going to cost you money. You want to do this there, and you're a member. It's going to cost you money. There's always an extra cost to everything. Maybe that's just the cost of doing business these days, but it's craziness.
Do you think that the perception of golf being an expensive sport keeps people from getting into the sport?
I'll tell you what, when COVID happened, because people had nothing else to do and they had no choice, golf was on the rise, a massive rise. We're COVID golfers. We can say that, right? Like, but I mean, yes, the price of golf, like when you go to freaking Sport Check or Walmart or wherever you're going, you look at a 12 pack of balls. And I mean, even the shit ones are like, or refurbished, are like $20 and you're like, $20 for something I may hit only once.
Yeah.
And it's like, or $2 or $1 ball or whatever it is, or 50 cents, but something you may only hit once.
There you go. And
so yes,
you have to buy balls are part of your equipment, and if you're good or bad at golf, you're eventually going to use them all up, and you're going to have to buy them again. So there's another cost in the gear part that you have to consistently make sure you have enough balls.
100%.
And again, the more you play, the better ball you're going to want, which again is more expensive.
The better equipment you're going to want, right? I mean, which is more expensive, and it all lends to itself. So yes, the stereotype that golf is a hoity-toity sport is there because it's always cost a lot of money, always. And I mean, it used to be the rich people that would golf, like back in the day. It used to be just for rich people, and I mean, it's become, I guess, slightly more affordable. Either that, or it's just become more socially acceptable for everybody else to do it.
Spend a ton of money to play this game.
But I mean, I wouldn't even want to sit down and tally up what I've spent on golf in the last 4 years, because I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big ass number.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've spent a lot more time going out of town and spending some big dollars on some golf. But I mean, I look at it as it's an experience. Like, I go for a vacation somewhere and spend, money doing that. Like, this is what I enjoy. So, I mean, I'm less cranky about spending the money on that than maybe you would be. But I mean, but that's just my perspective on it is all. I mean, that doesn't mean I don't think golf is expensive, because it is. And I just don't know that it'll ever be cheap, because I mean, every day the prices go up on everything.
Yeah, that's true. And golf isn't any different, I'm guessing. The costs every year go up. I'm interested to see if our membership goes up next year.
Well, it'll probably bump up a little bit. I mean, with inflation, I mean, that's normal. It'll go up like 5% or something, probably.
But yeah, it's.
I mean, let me tell you this: our membership isn't what Mickelson National is, right? When it's $40,000 a year to play, we might have a problem.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if we play this game for another 10 years, yeah, I don't even want to do the math on how much money we're going to spend on.
Oh, dude, it's like crazy.
For us, like getting into tournaments, like every tournament we get into is $100, $200, $250
Yep.
to get in, and we want to play more tournaments. So
Yep.
it's more money, but
Well, and then you got your
Again,
gas, and then you got your hotels,
You
and
bet.
then you got, like all that stuff adds up in a hurry.
and that's because we're into the sport and we want the experiences. But for a casual golfer, man, this has to be a sport that they look at and go, how do people do? I mean, I'm sure there's people that go, well, how do you guys do it? Like, it's so, like, you look at the overall expense per year for just me or you playing and go, how do you even afford that?
Oh, dude, it's a lot. It's a lot. I mean, it's not so bad now. Like, I mean, if you're not putting anything into your bag, it's a lot more easy to stomach.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
again, my bag has been the same for almost 3 years now.
yeah, and I
Couple
mean,
putter changes out, but again, I'm not into the $600 putter type.
I bought a putter this year because I wanted it, and I
That's
have
the
it.
jailbird.
Yeah, I have the jailbird. I mean, mind you, I traded in 2 old clubs to knock the price down on it, and then I bought a 62-degree wedge. So I mean, I spent like $500 on new clubs, and I mean, you know, balls, membership. I went to a few rounds in Calgary area, and I mean, you golf anywhere in Calgary, it's $100 a round.
Yep.
Like that's just what it's going to cost you if you want to golf there. And I mean, for me, I'm just kind of like, I know that, so I'm just like, whatever. I mean, I guess. And then somebody's like, you paid that much to golf, and I'm kind of like, yeah, but I mean, like, it didn't matter what course I go to. Like, that's what it's going to cost me for the experience. So I mean, I guess that's what I'm going to do because I want to do it. But I mean, I don't know. It is an expensive sport, but I think everybody in life has hobbies. And I mean, if you decide that golf is your hobby, I mean, you're gonna spend your money there. I mean, it's like smoking or vaping or drinking beer or
It's a good point.
or having being into motorcycles or cars or what or hunting or whatever your crutch is, right? Like they all cost money.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So I mean, are you willing to spend? If you're willing to spend the money on golf, chances are it's something that you're probably pretty passionate about.
Yeah, that's a good point. Again, I guess that would differentiate somebody who's into golf, playing golf, and a casual golfer.
Right. Because most casual golfers, they'll golf like 3-4 times a year, maybe half a dozen, and they'll just have an old used set of clubs or a hand-me-down set of clubs that they got that they just pick up once in a while. I mean, they'll be able to hit a ball and they'll be like, oh, I wonder why my game's not so good. I can't play. And I mean,
kind of like we were.
Yeah, well, exactly. Because you're like, well, this should be so easy. Well, it's not an easy game. I mean, if you get serious about it, it costs not only serious money but serious time.
Yeah,
Like it's
fair enough.
expensive time wise too.
Yep. Yeah, you put a lot of time into it. We put a lot of time into it. That's for sure.
I mean, I couldn't even begin to count the hours that we've put into working on our craft, both at the course and at home.
But it is hours that we've allotted to the sport because this is our hobby.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So
I mean, we could have different hobbies. I mean, I have friends that choose to do other things with their time and money, and I mean, they spend just as much, if not more, on those things. And I mean, that's something that they love and enjoy to do. So I think the real answer to your question is, it is expensive, but if it's something that you really enjoy, you'll be able to justify the cost.
fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, and again, talk about it and articulate it that way is important. So you people out there listening, what do you think? Drop us a message. Do you think golf is too expensive? Do you think $13 for a large bucket of balls is too much?
That is too much, by the way.
Right? Those type of things. Yeah, just drop us a line, let us know, and
Yeah, we'd love to hear your opinions.
you bet. And this is our first topic podcast.
Yeah,
That's
a
right.
little topic podcast short, and yeah,
We'll have some more of these down the road.
you bet.
All right, take care.
All right, later.